I saw something in my social media feed today describing this collection of influencers, some of them very prominent, one of which is in the current administration, I believe, as an advisor. So this collection of influencers who have decided to scour social media sites looking for comments that don't seem to be sufficiently reverent for our current times. I'll say it that way. I'm being deliberately vague because I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. So they've decided to do this. And when I first saw that, I was like, well, we're continuing with this whole cancel culture stuff again. But then I thought about it and I was like, wait a minute. A lot of the cancel culture stuff in the past occurred in a kind of context, Some person at a job has been, saying racist things or something, and then people started complaining, and then they go on social media and they say, I want this guy fired. I didn't like that either. But there was some kind of real world context involved with most of those cases. This is different. It's like, what, you gonna go on Spoutable and or something and look for someone who's not, I don't know what they want. I guess either silence or praise. I don't know. So anyone who says, I don't speaks their true feelings, that they're not unhappy about the situation, right? Anyone who says something like that, they want that person fired. And they're gonna try to find those people. But it's on social media. I mean, it's not even at the place of employment. And so I just find that very, very problematic. I actually took some screenshots because they all say the same thing, Some nurse on social media says, I ain't sad. This person was hurting people like me or something like that, right? So then some news organization will and that person, gets like fired or something. And then some news organization, they post a story. The most popular comment under that will be, I don't want that person doing something. I don't want that person, if it's a nurse, taking care of other people. I don't want that person in my, God forbid it's a teacher. I don't want that person in my schools, this kind of thing like that. And I'm like, but they did not do that in the school. It is okay for people to not be sufficiently reverent for the person that you revere. I mean, I think what's happening, well, actually there are two things that are happening. One, I think that more of society is coming around to the notion that progressives have had for a while, that words are violence. Not physical violence, but words hurt, and words have impact, and words have influence. And so those people are seeing that now. And so they're like, hey, we got to get this person fired because we want more people in the country to be as reverent as we are. We see that as an aggressive thing to do, Of course, they won't say violence, and sometimes the slogan words as violence is a bit unnecessary. But it leads to the same point. The things that people are saying are harmful, and so you want to stop them from saying it, right? So they're coming around to that view. But there's a second point of this, which I think is more important. I am not an influencer. I'm on social media. I live on social media, but I do not have any influence. Like, I don't have a whole lot of followers and all that stuff. I didn't make any money as an influencer. My living comes from like the traditional way. You get a degree and then you work a little while, you get an internship, and okay, fine. And you go back and get a master's degree. This kind of way that most Americans work to get ahead. Influencers can sometimes circumvent that. And their gold, their currency, I guess, is words. So for them in their world, someone making a 250-word comment on Spoutable or Blue Sky or X or something is equal, right, to something actually happening in the real world, which I think is kind of interesting because these are finally influencers, right? Like they're not actual, productive people, right? They're people who kind of talk, right? Anyway, it's about 5 minutes. Hope I made a point.